Hey guys, All Sports 83 sporting another video at you, and today we're highlighting the 8th race of the 2021 GoFast e-Racing Series playoffs. This race took place at Kansas Speedway, and the pole sitter was a person we haven't seen for quite some time in the series. It was the 9 car of Color 7. He's been missing for quite some time, but he made his triumphant return by winning the pole for the race here at Kansas. As you see, the 88 car of Mike G qualified on the outside pole. As we move on through the first few laps of the race here, you can see that I was able to make my way into second quickly using that inside line, but the 88 car of Mike G worked his way back around me and would take back that second position. But just a couple of laps later, he had a little issue, scraped the wall just a little bit there, and that gave me just enough momentum to retake that second position while the 9 car kind of pulls away and gets away from the rest of the field here. So as we keep going here, as we're coming down off of turn number 2, I get the wall just a little bit there. You see there's quite a bit of a battle going on behind the leader as myself, Mike G, Earn It 3, and Rowdy Fan 18, all right on top of each other as we're trying to sort out that top 5. You see the 9 car there started to have an issue, and then he also had to go down pit road and pit for fuel. And then a little bit later on, you see the new leader, Mike G, had worked his way back around me, and there are a whole bunch of us jumped down pit road during green flag pit stops. Here's another moment where the 77 car of Silver Piece had a terrific run through turns 3 and 4, and he would overtake me and take the second position while Mike G continued to lead a little bit further up the track there. Again, the field is still very tight after those green flag pit stops. You see Earn It 3 and the 43 car and that 18 car I'm racing for that championship. We're all right on top of each other as we're closely following the 77 car. Here, another set of green flag pit stops begin. There you see Mike G peeling off to start that pitting process. And then the next lap, there is Silver Piece 718 in the 77 car. He would go down pit road, and then here we are coming to the last lap, me and the 43 car of Earn It 3 trying to leg it out, and he starts to run out of fuel going into turn 1 on the final lap of stage number 1. I was able to conserve enough fuel to win stage number 1, followed closely by Rowdy Fan 18 in second, Earn It 3 third, Fat Boy in fourth, and Mike G 2338 in the 5th position. Okay, we move on to stage number 2 now, and I was able to hold on the lead after the pit stops, and it's always good to get a good restart so you can get into that preferred lane. Here's a couple laps later, the 18 car of Rowdy Fan 18 making a huge run, trying to take that top spot. It's a good race here as between the two of us. He does move down and gives me that preferred lane, so I'm going to try to use that to see if I can't keep that momentum on the high side. He dives it down into turn 3 again. Looks like he has it clear, but he doesn't move up the track quite fast enough, and I was able to maintain the lead with that outside momentum. A little bit later, he makes another stab at it here, and he is able to sort of clear, but he can't get up the track fast enough, and this time I'm followed closely by the 77 car of Silver Piece 718. He uses that momentum and is able to clear the 18 car and take over the second position. And the top 5 is still within a second of each other, so a lot of close racing. Here's another moment with the 77 car. He's going for the lead. We make a little bit of contact, kind of get up into the wall, and it brings the 9 car back into the play. And as we come off of turn number 2, looking in the rearview mirror, you can tell that it brings the entire field back into the conversation for that top spot. There's the 88 car trying to make it 3 wide and try to see if he can't force his way to the lead here as we move in to the middle portions of stage number 2. And then after the field had sort of calmed down, there was a lot of pit stops. Some guys had come in early. I had decided to stretch it out along with the 77 car, and I took only 2 tires. I stretched out the fuel long enough that I could just make it on 2 tires, and I came out just in front of the 9 car, who was on a similar 2 tire strategy, and he was moving to my inside here, And again, I'm trying to hang on to that momentum on the outside. It does work here. He doesn't slide all the way up in front of me, and I have the momentum going down the backstretch as we keep moving down into turns 3 and 4. He dives it in there again, but does not come all the way up, and I was able to use that momentum to move back around him. We would race back and forth for several laps as we come through these final 6 or 7 laps of stage number 2, but fortunately I was able to hold off a charging 9 car and win stage number 2 as well. Third place goes to Silver Piece 718, Earn It 3 in 4th, and Rowdy Fan 18 would finish 5th. Silver Piece 718 would win the race off pit road to start the final stage of the race, followed closely by Earn It 3 in the 43 car, who would move to second place on that restart. Now, I was able to maintain the momentum on the outside to keep third place over the 18 car, but here you see a couple of laps later, the 88 car gets a great run on the outside. I couldn't get up to block him in time, and he would move around me, and the 9 car would follow him through, and I would slip all the way back to the 5th position as we try to set ourselves up for the final portions of stage number 3. The 88 car gets a little bit of the wall. It's really dangerous to flirt that kind of high. It's really fast, but if you flirt a little bit too much, you get in the wall like the 88 car did there. Now you see the 2 cars up front, Earn It 3 and Silver Piece 718, they're battling for the lead, and because they battle, it kind of allows me to get up there and kind of race with them just a little bit. But as I get a little bit closer to them, you see a lot of things starting to shape out. These guys get going. They make a little bit of contact going into 1 and 2. It forces me to check up just a little bit. It brings the 9 car to my bumper. We're all checking up, trying to figure out where the best lane is. I made a little bit of contact, and there was a huge wreck coming off of turn number 2, get collected, and I collect the 88 car, and that would obviously bring out a caution. After a round of pit stops, it was going to be Earn It 3 who would lead the restart for this stretch of the race, followed by the 18 car of Rowdy Fan 18. So really it's about setting yourself up for that best position. See if you can find a way to get around these guys. And really one of the things that you really need to do is a great opportunity here is I've got a little bit of a draft, a good run off 2, and I'm going to try to pull the slide job, which is one of the few things that you can do to pass on the low side. And this is one of the few opportunities where I can show you that I was able to do that really kind of textbook. It helped that the 18 kind of slowed the momentum of Earn It 3 and the 43, but I was able to pull off that slide job and retake the lead by taking 2 cars in 1 corner. A little bit later on, we're on to green flag pit stops as we are running close to the end on fuel. I come back out after the pit stop, and I'm just behind the 9 car who had short pitted just a little bit on me. And we keep racing each other there, and I'm trying to pull another slide job here as I'm moving down underneath, and I was able to make that slide job work, but now he's going to try to cross me over. And really the angle here is you just want to make sure that you got enough of a nose on that guy that's trying to cross you over that you're not going to lose that position going down into turn number 1. So I was able to hang on to that momentum on the outside and complete this pass over color 7. And then I would get followed through that lane by Silver Piece 718. He would move himself into that second position. But a little bit later on, the guy who had kind of stayed a little longer and now has fresher tires is Mike G in the 88 car. With those clean tires, he had a lot of speed and was able to move right around me on that outside as me and the 77 car kind of race a little bit there. But that would move Mike G into the lead as we're preparing for the final stretch. A caution does come out off of screen, and that would turn the lead over to color 7, who would win the race off pit road. Another quick caution that took place off screen, and we would do a redo of this restart, moving into the final few laps of this race. Getting a good start on the inside is really a good advantage at this racetrack. The high line does work, but the low line really does work through 1 and 2 on those restarts. And then unfortunately for Mike G, he would start suffering some technical difficulties and would unfortunately have to drop toward the back of the field to not cause any cautions. A tough break for Mike G in the 88 car there. Now we get some other battling up front for the lead as we're coming to these closing laps. The 99 car crosses me over. I just had too much speed and had to back out of it, and it actually cost me third position as the 88 car followed him through on the inside to take over that second position. Now I'm trying to follow these guys. We're on the last lap here. I get a little bit of the wall, lose a lot of momentum, and the 77 car takes advantage of that and moves around me on the inside. So now I'm trying to think maybe he's going to go high. I'm going to try to go underneath him to see if I can't re-steal that third place back. But he gets a really good run coming off of turn number 4, and I'm going to have to settle for a fourth place finish. But it was color 7 in the 9 car after months of absence here in the GoFast E-Racing Series. He makes a triumphant return and collects his 5th win of the season here at the Kansas Speedway. And here's a good look at the finishing order. Color 7 with that win. Rowdy Fan 18 trying to stay in that championship playoff hunt with a 2nd place finish. Silver Piece in 3rd. I was able to get 4th. Earn It 3 was right behind me in 5th. Unfortunately for Mike G, with those technical difficulties, finishing 5 laps down in the 6th position. And Fatboy 13 would have a DNF right in the middle of stage number 3, and he would round out the field, finishing in the 7th position. Of course, we have to take a quick look at the point standings. With just 2 races to go in these playoffs, I was able to extend my point lead from 45 points to 46 points. So really kind of held serve through this week, which is really a good sign given that we just have 2 races to go in the season. The same is really true for Earn It 3 as he's trying to capitalize and get that Best of the Rest award. He now holds a 38-point lead over Silver Piece 718. So really for both races, they've kind of been mirroring each other each week, about the same point differential between the guy holding that position and the guy chasing him down. So in both points battles, it's really just about the guy in the lead, myself and Earn It 3. As long as nothing catastrophic takes place, it looks like we're going to be able to hang on to get that championship and the Best of the Rest, but there's 2 races to go. Still, anything can happen. We're just going to have to wait and see what's going on. Moving on to next week. Speaking of next week, we are moving on to Martinsville Speedway, so some short track racing ought to be very interesting. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good one.